Right. Going with our Amazon stream. This is sold on Amazon, by the way. You can pre-order, it looks like. All right, there we go. We are live in both places. So I want to welcome everybody. And before we begin, this came in free of charge from Google. However, they are not reviewing or approving this live stream before it starts, nor are they providing any input to me directly into how we unbox it. And we're going to unbox the new phone here. This is the Pixel 6a. And I'll wait a minute for everybody to come in. And Christoph Howard gets the first hashtag this morning, or this evening, depending on where you are. For me, it's the afternoon. It is 3 o'clock. And I have a Dunkin'. We run on Dunkin', as they say here in Connecticut. And I'll check my other angle here. I think I'll probably want to get my camera adjusted slightly. So let's get a little bit of a zoom out here. Here we go. I've always liked these Pixel phones. The reason why I like them is because they're affordable, unlocked, and they generally give you a bulk of what you get out of the more expensive phone. But there are some compromises, is how these things work out. And the display on this one is, so where this differs, and as people come in, just a reminder, this came in free of charge from Google. Where this differs from the other Pixel phones is that it doesn't have as nice of a display. So it is an OLED display as the other ones have had, which is nice in a kind of entry-level phone. But it doesn't have like the 90 hertz thing. It's only 60 hertz. But it's the same resolution. Patrick Chang is here. Justin Roberts is here. Douglas is here. Good to see you. And Solvak is curious about my thoughts on the display. Yeah, I'm curious too. I'll see what it looks like to me. David Parker. You will. Yes, I'm going to probably I'm going to work on it over the weekend, and then I'll review it early next week. I Am on Tech is here. So this is one of the areas where it differs from the other one. So this has 6 gigabytes of RAM versus 8 on the other Pixel 6s. So I believe the 6 Pro, has 8 gigs. And so the other things that differ here. This one does not have wireless charging. It does have 5G ultra wideband, which I don't believe the other one did, the older Pixel 5 and 4a. And thank you, David. Your comments are appreciated. Hopefully I maintain that trust. 6 gigs is it? Yep. Richard Moore is excited about this phone. Yeah, I think this is the one that's going to be, I think, the true sequel to the Pixel 4a, which I thought was an excellent phone. I really liked the Pixel 4a. Connor's fiance is considering trading in her Samsung for a 6a just to get back to the Pixel experience. Yeah, people that are into Google really like these phones because you get the pure Google experience, and then all of the new Android features that come out usually come out on these first, and then they get to the other ones. And Homestar, glad to be, yes. Yes, I love looking at this phone because this is the kind of device that does well on my channel. People like the affordable items, as do I. And I love covering affordable stuff because I have the 6 Pro here that we unboxed last year. And this one is nice, but it's pricey, right? So this one I think is much more reasonably priced for and it's got some good stuff on board. David Langley is here. And yeah, I think this is going to be a nice upgrade from the 3A. So they have a trade-in deal if you have an older version. Kieran wants to know if I ever eaten an apple through a tennis racket. I have not, but I do have an apple slicer that kind of works like that. Yes, I have the 6 Pro right here. So we'll look and see what size it is. Google had provided this to the channel free of charge a little while back. And it's hard for me to review these phones because all the big timers get them first, right? So, but yeah, we'll do a little gaming test. Do you have a game in mind? I can take a look at that. R called says, my Pixel 4, I think I'll replace the battery and continue with the 4a. 4a is a great phone. And Richard is waiting for the reviews to come out on this. And the tricky thing with these phones, too, is that sometimes there's like firmware that gets updated on the day that it's released. So what I'm running with is kind of like the existing firmware. I do not know what the Galaxy A03s is. I don't keep up too much with the smartphone world beyond what gets sent for me to look at. Smartphones are a really difficult place to be a reviewer right now because everybody reviews smartphones. So what I'm going to be doing today, just so I always like to maximize my time and the value of my time. What I'm going to do is record a video for my extras channel to try to pick up a little bit of traffic on on all the Pixel 6a hype, because everybody's got one. So we're going to do that real quick. I'm just going to set up a recording folder, and we're going to do a recording while I unbox it here in real time. And I'll start spouting off specs, and I'm going to get it all wrong, but we'll do our best. There's actually, if you're on my email newsletter, there's a website called GSM Arena that allows you to do these like head-to-head comparisons of two different devices. So I put a link in for that because it doesn't do wireless charging. The glass is not Gorilla Glass. It is Gorilla Glass, but it's not the fancy Gorilla Glass. It's the Gorilla Glass 3. And the backing is plastic and not glass. So, and it doesn't do wireless charging. I'll confirm that, but it doesn't look as though that is supported here. So yeah, we're getting some views in here on the Amazon side. So we'll accumulate some viewers, and then we'll kick things off. Isn't it a nice box? I get the sense, given the size of the box here, that there may not be a charger inside the box, because isn't that new European Union thing? Like you can't include chargers in the box anymore. So we'll find out if there is a charger inside or not. Let's see. And yes, so I guess you get 5 years of updates on these phones. And this one will have Android 12 on to begin with. Richard heard the phone gets hot during games. We'll take a look at that. And all right, so Genshin Mobile, Call of Duty Mobile. Okay, maybe we'll look at a couple of those. I also like to install the Dolphin emulator on these too. Yeah, and there's a great link. I have it here. I'll put it in. I'll put it in both chats actually. So I'll drop it into the YouTube chat and the Amazon chat. And this will compare the 6 and 6 Pro, or the 6 Pro to the. I'm sorry, no. I'm going to compare the 6 to the 6A. Because like if you're looking for a phone, you're going to be looking at the 6 and maybe the 6A, right? Like what's the difference between the low-end 6 and the lower-end 6A? And this is a lot less expensive too, right? So that's kind of the... Ooh, you know what though? It looks like the 6 might be selling for a little less now also. Okay. But yeah, I'll put that there, and I'll also add it to the Amazon chat here too. So let me put that in here. Comparison. I cannot send sensitive information. It says, so see, I am unable to put the link in. So I went to a website called GSM Arena, which is where you can see more about this. And if you're on the Amazon chat, you can leave a chat. I'm monitoring both the Amazon and the YouTube chat at the same time, as best I can. And you know what I'll do for the Amazon viewers, I'll put this up on screen. So if you pause it and type that in, you can compare two different phones right next to each other. It's a great website. All right, let me see if I can brighten this up a little bit. I may be zoomed in. No, I can. I do have a little bit more room there. Okay, perfect. All right. Ever since I switched to 4K, I've been adjusting things. It's been a little crazy. Richard Moore says the 6 is too big. Yeah, I like a smaller phone. That's why I like the 4A. So the phone that I use all the time is the iPhone 13 Pro. And this is, for me, the perfect size phone. I like this size. And I know other people that like really tiny phones, like the iPhone mini. People love that phone. Yeah, there's no headphone jack on this one either, no SD card. But they are giving big trade-in deals right now, it looks like, so something to think about. And Richard said that Amazon puts wireless charging as a spec. Ooh, they better fix that because it does not have wireless charging. That's always, none of these A phones have ever had wireless charging. And you know what's funny? I always thought that that was kind of a gimmicky thing, like it doesn't charge very fast, which it doesn't. But I use wireless charging all the time. In fact, my phone, as it's sitting here, because I'm monitoring the Amazon chat on my phone, I leave it in my wireless charger. I've got a little Belkin one that stands it up. It's really nice. Richard wants to know, what color do I like best? You know, I don't know. They just sent me whatever they sent me. It looks like I have the white one. What do they call this? This is, I'm not sure what they call this white. Is it just white, simply white, just white? I forgot what they call their color. They have cute names to their colors. Did I get a 6? So I don't have a 6, but I do have a 6 Pro. And it's a nice phone. But it's bigger than what I like. I like something smaller. But it is a good phone. And one of the things I'm really eager to try out, because I know on the 5A and the 4A, you couldn't record video for a good length of time before it went out on you. All right, so I'm going to do my little extras channel intro here. I have a Dunkin'. This is product placement. I paid for the coffee, and they get the placement. You know what's funny? The coffee's not even that good, but like you just drink it because you like it's just a familiar taste, you know. And so what I do is I have this routine, like every couple of days. So I have a PO box that I use. It's at one of these privately owned mailbox kind of places. So they do UPS and FedEx shipping, but they also give you I can pay for a box every year. So I rent out a little box, and that way I just don't have stuff sitting out in front of my house. And so when I go to pick up my mail, I also then stop at the Dunkin', which is on the way back. Oh, so it's called Chalk. Charcoal, Chalk, and Sage. I've been getting into some of the more funkier colors lately. So on my Surface Book Go, the new one that I just bought, this is supposed to be green, although it's like a very subtle green. So I was hoping for a little bit more green than what I got with it, because it doesn't look very green, only at certain angles. But the green one, I probably would go with the green one just because it's a different color. So yeah, so if you're in New England, and actually, you know what's funny? Dunkin's all over the world now. So I was in Berlin, Germany. I kid you not, I go to Berlin. I was there for IFA. I go to Berlin, and the first thing I see in Berlin, like near the Brandenburg Gate, is a Dunkin' Donuts. Like, really? I did not get a coffee there, although I did get a cheeseburger at Burger King because it was right next to my hotel. But that was because it was next to the hotel. All right, let's do the unboxing. You guys and gals ready? I think we're good to go. So, yep, got to do the Dunkin' placement. Maybe I'll get a sponsorship from Dunkin', and they can sponsor my live streams. They're big Red Sox fans, the Dunkin' Donuts people. They sponsor all these Red Sox things. I'm not a big baseball fan, but if I had to choose, it would be the Mets. And primarily because the Mets were the first baseball game I ever went to. So that's why I like the Mets. My father took me to a game. Okay. I think we're good here. Yeah, I got disk space. I'm going to be upgrading my SSD on my recording machine to 2 terabytes. And Richard likes the Sage also. All right. So here's the thing. I have to respond to this comment because this is a pet peeve of mine. Dunkin' Donuts was a donut shop all the time, and what happened was I think they got bought out by one of these private equity firms or something, because the Dunkin' that was near me, they would make the donuts in the store. In fact, the advertising, which you can find on YouTube, was they had this guy, time to make the donuts. He would actually wake up in the morning and make the donuts, and that was what they did at Dunkin' Donuts. You get the donuts, they were very fresh. Now, they don't make anything. Everything is like brought in overnight on a truck, and they just heat it up. And the donuts are just like sitting out. So it's not as good as it used to be. They do brew the coffee, but Christoph says, would they sponsor? They probably wouldn't. So I probably just shot myself in the foot here with that. Yeah, I have a local coffee shop that is really good. He roasts it like right there. You can go stop in and watch him roast the coffee. He showed me how he did it the other day. It's really, really good. Okay. Here we go. We're going to record the unboxing, okay? 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing. I just got in the Pixel 6a from Google. This is their entry-level smartphone, and this one is coming out in a couple of weeks, and we got an early version courtesy of the company free of charge. And I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this did come from Google free of charge. However, all of the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this unboxing, nor did they review or approve what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's open the box up and see what's inside on the new Pixel 6a. All right, so we'll start there. And I'll just make sure I got a good recording here. A. Bartlett in the Amazon chat says, Krispy Kreme still makes their donuts in the store. Yeah, I think most of the Krispy Kremes are still doing that, right? And it was funny, when they first came to Connecticut, they had huge traffic problems at their first store. Like, literally, they had to bring half the police department out to direct traffic when they opened up. So I think they use those convection ovens for the 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing. I just got in the Pixel 6a from Google. This is their entry-level smartphone, and this one is coming out in a couple of weeks, and we got an early version courtesy of the company free of charge. And I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this did come from Google free of charge. However, all of the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this unboxing, nor did they review or approve what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's open the box up and see what's inside on the new Pixel 6a. All right, I can live with that. This is for the extras channel. And launches next Thursday, so I'll correct that. And Chris Allegretta is here. Yep, we're going to be doing more of those whatnot streams, Chris. Isn't that fun? That was fun. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You know, I'm going to reshoot the intro. Let's just do it right. So next Thursday, is that when it's coming out? So we'll reshoot the intro. And I'm going to build my audience more. I got to build the suspense. What's inside this box? All right, let's try it again. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing. I just got in the new Pixel 6a phone from Google. This is their entry-level phone, and this is running with much of the same guts as their more expensive Pixel 6 and 6 Pro phones. And what we're going to do today is take it out of the box and boot it up, and then in a future video coming up very shortly, we'll have a more in-depth review. And I believe this comes out for purchase next week or so. So these will be readily available shortly, but we've got a couple of days here for a head start to do a nice overview of it. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, this came in free of charge from Google. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this unboxing, nor did anyone review or approve what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and take the phone out of the box. How's that? Was that better? I think that was probably better. I appreciate the feedback. That's why I do these things live, so that people can provide good feedback. Because if you don't hook them in that first intro there, you're out of luck. Martel says, is there a guess as to what's inside? I have no idea. I have no idea. You know, maybe there isn't a phone inside. Maybe it's just an April Fool's Day joke or something. All right, I'm going to play this back real quick, and then we're going to move on and unbox it. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing. I just got in the Pixel 6a from Google. This is their entry-level smartphone, and this one is coming out in a couple of weeks, and we got an early version courtesy of the company free of charge. Oh no, hang on a second, that's the wrong one. 1 second. I played back the wrong one. And I'm about to lose power here, by the way. So hang on a second. We're having a heat wave in my home state of Connecticut. And I didn't hear the generator kick on yet, but my UPS just kicked on. But it looks like we're okay on power. This is a good test, actually, because I've got everything on backup power, so we should not lose the stream. But just be aware. 3, 2, 1. Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for another unboxing. I just got in the new Pixel 6a phone from Google. This is their entry-level phone, and this is running with much of the same guts as their more expensive Pixel 6 and 6 Pro phones. And what we're going to do today is take it out of the box and boot it up, and then in a future video coming up very shortly, we'll have a more in-depth review, and I believe this comes out for purchase next week or so. So these will be readily available shortly, but we've got a couple of days here for a head start to do a nice overview of it. Now, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, this came in free of charge from Google. However, all the opinions you're about to hear are my own. No one is paying for this unboxing, nor did anyone review or approve what you're about to see before it was uploaded. So let's get into it now and take the phone out of the box. Okay, I'm going to go with this one. And this is the extras channel, so I will, for this, perfect is the enemy of the good sometimes. And poor Lee Buffalo is getting his on 25th of July, so that is next week, or 3 days from now. I better hustle. Okay. And let's see. Somebody said the stream went dark for a second. Let's see. Let me take a look at my viewer activity or stream health. Looks like I was okay. Yeah, I'm hooked up directly to Comcast without anything in between. So even if we lose power in the neighborhood, I should be in good shape. Okay, so why don't we pick up where we left off and take it out of the box. Yeah, I don't have any cable nodes, so I am on a direct fiber connection right to the head end. So I have nothing in between me and the head ends. The only thing that would stop me would be a tree falling or the generator at the head end going out. But I got a generator here, so if the thing clunks over in the closet there, we'll be switching to generator power. Okay. Oh yes, it's a good question from Rob Hanks about USB-C. I do always test this to see. I don't even think the other phone had it. All right, here we go. We get one shot at this. 3, 2, 1. All right, so let's flip the box over and open it up and see what we get inside here. The box is very thin, I think thinner than perhaps some of the other ones that we've looked at in the past from them. And this has the signature camera bar that we've seen on some of the other Pixel 6 phones in the line. And they remind you here that your fingerprint reader is underneath the screen, and it's about where you will stick your finger to unlock the phone. You have a power button here along with your volume controls there and your SIM card slot here on the side. Now the big difference between the Pixel 6a and the 6 Pro and regular 6 is that the 6a here is kind of running with some lower end features. So the processor is the same as the more expensive phones, but there is no wireless charging on this. So the Pro here has a glass back. It feels a little more premium. This one is plastic. It feels nice, but not as nice as the 6 Pro does. It also does not have the high refresh rate display that you'll have on the more expensive phones. So this goes to 60 Hertz and that is it. But it is an OLED display, so it's going to look nice compared to cheaper phones. So I don't think it's going to feel all that compromised, but you will get some nicer accoutrements on the other devices. It does support 5G, and this will do the millimeter wave ultra wideband on networks here in the US that support it. So it's not compromised in its network connectivity at all. It's got a wide-angle lens and an ultra-wide, but I don't think it has the telephoto. And both of the cameras on this are about 12 megapixels apiece. You've got your charging cable here. This is a standard USB Type-C cable. You have an adapter here for OTG devices. They've been including these adapters in most of the Pixel phones for a while. So if you have like a regular USB device, you can pop it in there and then just stick it into the port there on the bottom. And then we have the SIM popper here. Google Tensor is the processor that's in the phone. This again is the same processor that's designed by Google that is in the more expensive phone. So it's going to perform the same, although we'll put that to the test when we do the full review. Not in the box, though, is a USB Type-C charger. So you will need to have your own USB charger to get the juice into this, although it does have a good amount of charge here to start. So you should be off to the races there. But all in, looks pretty nice here. And what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of days is running through some tests, getting the camera situated, and figuring out how this one performs versus some of the older Pixel 6a's, but also looking at how it might perform against the more expensive phone. I will say now, holding both in my hand, that the 6 Pro here does feel a lot more premium. The plastic here doesn't feel as nice as the glass on the back. So that is definitely something I'm noticing out of the gate here, but it's also a little smaller in the hand, and I think that might be something attractive to some folks, although this is a lot bigger than the Pixel 4a phone that was one of my favorites in this A phone line. So we'll have a lot more to come on this. Stay tuned, and until then, we will be doing a lot of testing, but look out for my review that'll be up in the next couple of days. That's going to do it for now. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching. All right. That was my unboxing. Just kind of rambled along with it a little bit, but that's okay. All right. Yeah, I had to say Pixel 6a enough in the intro. That's it. So that's weird. You guys had a dark image. It must have been switching. I must have been switching to something. That might have been what happened. And Richard Moore wants to see the setup process. Yep, I will take you through that. And you know what? It's making like a, you know, it's funny. It's got like a little haptic motor in it. And every time the this little ball thing hits this green thing, it bounces. Like it makes a little noise there. And this is definitely a good enough phone, for sure. That's why I like these. They're really, really good. So thank you, Mark Dale. It's always good to get it right every once in a while. Amish is here. Hello there. If you're on the Amazon, just leave a chat and we'll take a look at things. So I think what I'll do here is I'll leave the box next to it so people know what we're doing. All right, so let's get started. And I'm going to skip the network right now. I'll probably stick in my Verizon card later and do some ultra-wideband tests with it. And then I'm going to connect it to my Wi-Fi. So give me a second on that. Yeah, I will say it feels a lot, it almost feels hollow to some degree. Like it's kind of a hard thing to describe. Like it doesn't feel as solid as the Pro does. Like it feels like there's some air in it. I don't know if that's bad or not. It just feels a little different. Yeah, I wish I had, like, they sent me the Sage. They sent me the Chalk. I have Chalk. I think it's attractive, but. And David Bound's wife loves the 3A. My understanding is the back is plastic on this. I might be incorrect. I'm getting this from GSM, the GSM thing. And RT, so it's plastic? What does that mean? It's like a combination of glass and plastic? So I need to investigate that a little bit more. They did send me like a whole reviewer's guide thing that I haven't gone through yet. You know what happened was I like it when they send me like a document, but this they formatted it as like for a cell phone screen. So there's like 85 slides and it's hard to get all the stuff in there. All right, so I'm not going to copy my stuff over. I'm going to set this one up from scratch. And it looks like the Pixel 3 hits its 5-year mark in May. And there's no headphone jack on this, by the way. I should have mentioned that. Because I think the last set had a headphone jack. All right, so I'm going to sign into my Google accounts and get that going, and then we'll test out some stuff on it. The OLED screen looks nice, though. It's, you know, I love OLED screens because when you have a dark screen up like I have right here, you just don't, it doesn't, you can't see where the screen ends. It just looks like it's just part of the thing. It's got very nice haptics. Like when you tap on the screen, you get that nice, satisfying little click. All right, I just need to log in. It is me. All right, my two-factor is factored. Add a phone number. We're not going to do that. All right, almost there. Yeah, Ian says, scratch the back and we'll find out for sure, right? So Marcus Brownlee said it's made out of glass. We'll see if he's right. Everything I'm reading says it's plastic, so I don't know. I will find out. And if I am wrong, I will correct the record. Back up your phone. I'm not going to back it up because I'm just going to set it up from scratch here. All right, let me do my password or my PIN number, and then I'm going to set up my fingerprint. All right, so let's do the fingerprint thing. You guys want to see that, guys and gals? So we'll say more. Let's do it. All right, so I'm going to put my fingerprint on here. Actually, I'm going to use it. Let me go back. I want to use my other finger. Start. I'm going to use this finger first. Change the position of your finger slightly each time. Okay. Place the tip of your finger on the sensor. Finally, use the edges of your finger. I'm not following directions fully here. We'll see how it goes. Fingerprint added. All right. Next. All right, so let's continue the setup process here. Roger P. is joining us on Amazon. Talk to Google. All right, we'll agree to that. Activate voice match. Why not? Just take everything. Access your assistant without unlocking your device. Okay. What else does it want me to do? It's thinking. How much you want to bet we got a huge update after this, right? I'm going to skip this because I don't use the Google checkout. All right, I'm good here. Get more tips and tricks. Sure, why not? Yeah, so the refresh rate on this is 60 hertz. Swipe to navigate your phone. I will try it. I know how to do this already. I know how to do that. Okay. So now we'll swipe up to go home. And voila. Let's see if I can get the screen brightness up a bit here. Where's the brightness? Internet flashlight, do not disturb. Isn't that how you do the brightness right over here? Or maybe it's still setting up my pixel. Completing setup. Oh, there we go. Display. Brightness level. Yeah, it looks a little better. It gets drowned out a little bit because of my studio lights, but it doesn't seem as bright as my iPhone. All right, there we go. So now I think it's probably downloading stuff. Yeah, it's installing applications, so we'll let that kind of do its thing here. And here it says doesn't matter. Yeah, I think it's kind of a neither here nor there kind of thing, right? As far as what the material is. A geoformed polycarbonate. Okay, so maybe I'm not good. So the back is plastic, according to Richard Moore, and I agree with him because that's what I said it was. I mean, you can call it poly whatever. If it's anything poly, it is plastic. That's what plastic is. It's a polymer of some kind. So Marcus Brownlee is incorrect. Geoformed polycarbonate. Let's look that up. Pixel 6a, plastic back. I mean, it doesn't feel, I mean, as plastic goes, it feels really nice. And the Android police has a great headline. Regression is the better part of value. Great build quality. Yes, the back is technically plastic, but it's really nice plastic. And according to the Android police, Google confirmed that it is plastic. So it is plastic and not glass. And I will stand by that now that I know. And that's it. It is not, there's no wireless charging on this one, so that's part of it. And Consumer Reports says the back is 3D thermoformed composite backing. So that is what that is. Okay, so now let's try to do the fingerprint thing here and see how quickly it gets us in. Yeah, seems like it's okay. You know, and here's the thing. Like I wrote about, I know most of you are probably not subscribed to my email list. But if you were, I wrote about this the other day in regards to my the review that I did of the ThinkPad X1. I like to look at these things from the context. It unlocks pretty quickly here. Let me show you again. I like to look at these from the context of who's this being marketed towards. Because I think what happens in the smartphone world, especially the phone reviewers, and I'm not disparaging them, but I think a lot of people look at it in the lens of what they think the phone should be for their use case. And what I like to do is think about who is the phone being marketed to, right? And this is a phone for people that I think don't want to spend a lot on a flagship phone. And as such, I think their expectation level is different than someone who does. And try hitting with a hammer. We'll double check. Is the 6A better than the Phone 1? I'm not sure what the Phone 1 is. I don't have a good sense of a lot of... In the US, we don't get a lot of cool phones, unfortunately. And actually, yeah, you can wireless charge through plastic because the Amazon tablets are plastic-backed and do support wireless charging. And yeah, so no one wants to call it plastic because that would make people think it's cheap, right? But just that's what I say. I'm going to call it plastic because that's what it is. Roger P. says, do I think it's worth the $449? You know, we're only a few minutes in, so I can't give you a definitive yes or no, but I like it so far. I mean, I think it's a really nice, attractive device here. And let me go in. The screen brightness, though, does feel a bit low to me. And the other thing I'm going to do here is turn off my Google Gmail notifications. The other problem with these things is that when you get them, every one of your emails comes through. And because it's been a while since I booted up my phone, let me see here. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing too many steps to get to the screen brightness too on this thing. Let's go over to notifications. Give me a second here. I'm just getting myself situated. So notifications. And I'm just going to turn them all off. Okay. Oh, it's just for messages. Hang on, let me do it for Gmail. All right, notifications off. Okay, there we go. All right. There's a lot of stuff that this phone does that we will explore also. And Roger P. makes a good point about blue phones. I've looked at it, you know, I used to get them in all the time. I should reach out to them and see if they've got some more. The one thing, here's the thing. I will say this. And I will test this to be sure that I'm correct, but the cameras on the name brand phones are almost always better. And a lot of times they're running with the same hardware as a cheaper phone does, but it's the software that they put together to improve the images, you know, programmatically. And so you will always get better image quality and video quality out of a Google or a Samsung or an Apple than you would out of a phone from a you know, less expensive brand. Yeah, so I think so right, you got to pull down twice to get it. I don't know, for me, I don't know if that's a common thing people reach for, but I would like to be able to pull down once and get it. So I think it does that on some of my other phones. All right. So let me make sure it's done downloading everything. Okay, so all the applications are installed. Next thing we're going to do is just check and see if there is an update, because if we're going to run a benchmark on this sucker, we want to make sure that it is up to date. So where is the update thing here? Build number, maintenance build number. let's see, I'm just looking for the update. It is running Android 12. Let me search for updates. System updates. And it looks like we are up to date. Last checked on April, oh yeah, 3:38 p.m., which is just a few minutes ago. So we should be good. Usually what happens is that like the day that it comes out, they have a big update that kind of corrects all the issues that the reviewers find with it. So Connor says if I pull down with 2 fingers, oh, look at that. That's a neat tip. How about that? All right, so, and you know I got to give some credit here also to Slayer. Thank you for that. I missed your comment there. And this is not a 120 hertz. But you know what? This is again my point, is that average Joe consumer doesn't care about 120 hertz. When you're in the market for a phone under $500, it's like, wow, this is nice for under $500. So, all right, so now let's go into the Play Store. I'm going to grab my benchmark that I like to run. We're going to grab the 3D Mark thing first. So I'm always curious, like, where does this fall in versus the other ones, right? And I suspect that this will come in exactly where, oh, come on, it's not going to have that? Let's see, 3D Mark, Wildlife. We have to side load it. Yeah, it's not coming in. What the heck? So apparently they haven't listed the compatibility on the 3D Mark test for this phone yet. But that's okay, I can side load it, so let me go do that real quick. And I guess I gotta remember where I put it. Richard Moore says, can I please make the home screen 5x5? How do you do that? Right now I've just got 2 layers there. Let's see. Let me get my oh, disable adaptive brightness. That's probably my other problem here. So let's go adaptive brightness. Turn that off. It'll stay, keep the brightness put. Yeah, so right now I've got it cranked up all the way as far as brightness is concerned. So that's going to be that. Give me a second here. I just got to figure out where I have my 3D Mark benchmark. I just have a pretty recent version available. I just need to remember where I put it. Yeah, it's on my NAS device. So what I'm going to do is go to my Chrome browser, and we'll go to my NAS, my local NAS here. Actually, I'm going to do one other thing here. And yeah, so 3D Mark is not listing itself as compatible, at least in the store. And I think what happens is that the phone isn't out yet, so they probably haven't added that as a device that it works with. All right, so we downloaded the file. Why can't it open it? It's not opening it. Okay, so let's try go into the Files app here, maybe. They also keep changing how. There it goes. Installing the app, settings, allow, install. And that'll get us our 3D Mark benchmark going here. Okay, looks like it's installed now, I think. Here it is. A little roundabout way to get there, but we got there. Okay, so let's do Wildlife first and see how that goes. And I have seen the JWST images. In fact, a friend of mine was at an event last night for the Planetary. I just got done talking with him a little while ago, actually. A friend of mine was at the Planetary Society event last night and got to meet one of the scientists that is processing those images. And Roger P says, I got to check out the Nothing One phone. All right, I'll take a look at that one. All right, so we're going to let this download. It's taking a while. You know, I'll do also while this is downloading, I will grab, I'm curious about its Wi-Fi performance, so I'll grab the speedtest.net app and see how fast the Wi-Fi is on it. That one is available, so at least we can get that one going. So let that download while. This is taking a while. It's like a megabyte per second. It's usually not this slow. Is the 6A a better value than the 6? That's a good question. It depends on what the price delta is between the two. So let me look and see what the 6 is selling for right now. So the Pixel 6, at least on Amazon, you know, they have a renewed one, you know, a refurb for $494. So if you don't mind buying refurbs, the 6 is probably going to be a little better because it has more features and it's the same processor. The new one is $679 versus $449, so it's about a $200 price difference. So you know, I guess the question you have to ask yourself is wireless charging worth that? And maybe the better camera. Yeah, I think it has a higher resolution camera. And the Nothing phone is not sold in the US right now, so that's why you can't get one. That could be too. Not going to stop me though, is it? That's the first thing we're going to run on this sucker. And you know, you would think too that you know, it's using the Tensor chip, which has been out now for about a year, right? All right, so let that finish up. Yeah, so I think as long as there's a $200-ish price difference between the 6 and the 6A, then it's probably a better value. But you're right. I mean, if you're in the market and you can get a refurbished 6, you know, one other thing would be the size, because this is the 6 Pro, which is much wider, and I'm a small phone kind of guy. All right, so let's go and do the unlimited test, which renders everything off screen. And we'll see how this compares to the other one. And I'll hear this a lot. A lot of folks are like, 60 hertz bothers me. But you know what? Like, I don't think it bothers my mom. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of that's the market on one of these. All right, so I'm going to start getting my benchmark sheet filled out here. And we're going to go over to the wildlife column. I like the wildlife test a lot because it runs cross-platform, so you can compare this to Windows, to the Mac, to the iPhone, right? Like it's a really nice comparative. And I don't consider benchmarks to be the be-all and end-all, but they provide at least a reference point as to where this performs on certain things versus others. So, 6A, 6800. And where did the Pixel 6 Pro come in? Interesting. So I should run this again on the Pixel 6 Pro, because I bet you I ran it before everything got optimized. So I'm going to run it again on my Pixel 6 Pro, because my results were not great on that one. My Pixel 6 Pro had a score of 4,500 on that test. But I would imagine a lot has changed since then. So let me charge the phone up here. It doesn't apparently have a charge on it at the moment. So we'll let it juice up. And we'll see what happens here. All right, so while that's charging, I'm going to go and fill out the form here. So 6,800, which puts this, believe it or not far off a Ryzen 4800U out of a mini PC. So we got a score of, and if you go to Lon.TV/benchmarks, you can see me filling this out. So this is the Pixel 6A, and this has a Google Tensor processor, and we got a score of 6,800 or 40.70 FPS. Now I'm also going to run the extreme version. So this is the entry level test. And so I'm going to back out of here, and then I'm going to go to, where is it over here? So it's Wildlife Extreme. And we'll do the same test we just did a second ago, but this time we're going to run it in the Extreme version, which is a higher resolution version of the same test. So right now, 6800 is what we got on the regular 6A. Now by comparison, because we looked at the iPhone SE, the new one, and that one it's actually competitive. So the iPhone SE came in at 8,574 versus 6,800 for this one, and that's about an 11 frames per second difference. So it's not up, it's not quite at the performance level of the iPhone for games like this, but and the Tan Man says you can no question you can notice the difference, and it does feel faster when you have a faster frame rate. I don't believe, though, the resolution is higher on the 6 Pro. It has the same resolution as the 6. And they say it has an always-on display, but mine turns off, so I'm not sure. Now, Gang had an iPhone 13 mini and a Pixel 4a. Granted, 4a is a 2-year-old phone, but both have 60 hertz, but the 13 mini just felt faster and smoother. And, that's been something I've noticed on iPhones throughout, right? Like, they've always felt, I don't know what Apple does. And some other folks are saying the refresh rate seems worse than it should be. We'll find out, won't we? Take a look at that. But yeah, I try not to nitpick too much, because I really look at, like, what is the target market, and does this achieve what they're marketing to? And that's of anything I review. Like just the other, like, and I come back to that X1, so the Lenovo X1 Carbon I reviewed the other day. That one was a tough one because the techies were not going to be pleased with its battery life, with with the fact that it wasn't much of a performance upgrade over the other one. It has some issues related to thermal throttling, but those same issues have been with that machine in its prior generations, and they're still selling a ton of them because it's marketed towards executives. Like IT gets the order. We want a lightweight laptop with a 14-inch screen for the boss. Here you go. Does the boss notice that it thermal throttles? No, they don't. Did the 4A have the face unlock? I know this one might too. We'll have to dive into that. It might do it with the camera. Yeah, once the test is done, I'll show you the back of the phone, which is made out of plastic. And right, so the 6A has the 12 megapixel sensors on the back. So the regular wide lens on the 6 and 6 Pro, if I'm not mistaken, the regular camera lens is 50 megapixels on the 6 and 6 Pro. This one is 12. There we go. We're back. So, by the way, YouTube, are you back? Is everybody back? Are we back? Are we back on? Can you hear me now? So, believe it or not, YouTube is aware of this issue. I have encountered a bug because I stream at 4K, 30 megabits per second, and at 55 minutes every time, or just about every time, it drops the stream. And they are actually aware of it. There's something going on inside of the code at YouTube. And so I reported it, and they actually get back. They actually send me an email like every couple of days. We're still working on it, just letting you know. Like, they're actually being pretty good about it. So it's really funny, but it happens all the time. So it's not my connection. Sorry, Frank Mula. Yeah, we should probably have a little thing on there, just do a countdown until we hit that. So yeah, the Amazon one stays up, but the other one goes down. All right, so there we go. So that's cool. So let's test the Wi-Fi out now. So I'll go out to speedtest.net on the phone. Welcome to speedtest.net. All right. All right, almost there. Jeez, okay. All right, so now we'll do a Wi-Fi 6 test of this. And Roger P says, we need to have more smartphone brands in North America. We sure do. Because they do have, there was somebody posted this the other day from one of the European sites that I follow, who was saying that it's a very similar thing. Yeah, we're doing about 520 down, and on the upstream, yeah, it's good Wi-Fi 6 performance. Not bad. Bet you wish you had an internet connection like I do, huh? So not bad at all. Okay. So we should do a little Genshin Impact maybe. The phone is definitely getting hot though. I can see where people are talking about heat. It feels warm. And it might be the plastic is why it feels warm. Did I tell you it's made out of plastic on the back? All right, so let's get Genshin Impact. Let's download that sucker. Install. This will take a little bit to download. And you know what I'll do while that's going is I'll grab Game Pass and we'll play some Game Pass games on it. I got my, oh, I can't use that controller with it, shoot. To make it go 5x5 on the home screen, hold it down, hold what down? All right, so let's get that installed. I'll probably demo that during the review. Oh, it looks like it's already downloaded. How about that? All right, so Genshin Impact is downloaded already. How about that? I think it must download a whole bunch of stuff when you boot it up for the first time. That's why it came in so quick. And the other thing I want to test with this, and this was something that popped up with the older phone, is that when you recorded 4K 60, it was like locking up after a while. Oops, let me just do my Google account here. I got to agree to a whole bunch of stuff. Who knows what I'm agreeing to? All right. All right, tap to begin. And it's going to download our whole thing. Well, that's a big file. Oh, my goodness. So it is 14 gigabytes that it has to download. But it's coming in pretty quick, so we'll let that run for a second. Yeah, I'll probably hook up the SN30 Pro in a little bit. Forza 5 Hot Wheels. Now, do you get that on Game Pass? Does that come in on Game Pass, or do you have to like pay for that add-on? I need to try that out. And Brian says his 5A has a metal frame. This one has a metal frame also, so the sides here are metal. Did I mention the back is plastic? Aaron Johnson says, no, I was joking. Okay, so I'll adjust the home screen in a little bit. It's not bothering me too much. All right, so let this download real quick. This probably won't download in the background, will it? Let's see. All right, so if I hold down and open home screen settings and change the layout. Okay, home settings. And where is this thing you want me to change? Suggestions, search for your phone, home screen location. I'm not seeing what you're... At a glance, add app icons to home screen, suggestions. Yeah, I don't see an option to change the layout to 5x5. Or add app icons. Yeah, I'm not seeing that change there. All right, let's go back into Genshin here while that's going. I just want to make sure we don't lose our momentum. Oh, it's downloading in the background here. So we're 2 gigs into 14 gigs. This has 5 years of updates. And the, yeah, no, did I mention the back is plastic? I think I may have. Actually, what is it? Polycarbonate something or other? Global. Somebody, I think, put it best, called Glastic, right? All right, so press down, hold screen. All right, so I'm pressing down on here. And now what? Change wallpaper. Must be downloading another piece of wallpaper. I kind of like the one that was on there before. Oh, scroll down. Okay, so if I scroll down, I can't scroll down anywhere. That's it. If I do this, I get the whole thing, but. Oh, I see. This is, no, that's just the wallpaper and style. And that just changes colors, I think, right? Yeah. It looks very nice, though. Yeah, so if I push down here and go to Home Settings, I don't see an option to go 5 by 5. I see notification dots at a glance. If I type wallpaper and style, is this where I do it? This is the preview of the wallpaper. Scroll down, let's see. See, you guys are 30 seconds behind me, so, oh, okay, I see. Ah, got it, map grid. See, no one does this, right? And I see then it just loads up all my apps on the front there. Okay, so as they come in, it'll do that. They hide that one pretty good, don't they? Uh-oh, what happened? I did too much. See what happened? See, here's what I look at on the phone reviews. I look at my dad. My dad is an Android user. The good news is it picks up where it last left off. My father's an Android user. His phone is totally default because he doesn't even know where to look for any of this stuff. Doesn't change a thing. How do I feel about the camera being in the middle? Oh yeah, it is in the middle. I'm okay with that, I guess. Where is it on the other one? Yeah, the 6 Pro here, it's on the middle also. So I'm going to run that test on the 6 Pro after I do its update. And the 6 Pro also has like a curved glass screen on it. So on the Pro, you can see how it curves around. You don't have that on this one. So it's more of a flat experience. So this will appear as though it has thinner bezels because it curves the screen around the side. All right, let me go over to updates on this one, because this one I'm sure needs an update. My battery is too low to let's let it charge for a little bit longer. And I think this doesn't have as fast of a charger. So it'll do like the 18-watt charging, but I don't think it does like the faster charging. No notch, you just got a hole punch. And Tyler said that it had to reload because it only has 6 gigs of RAM. That's probably it. All right, so we'll let this thing continue downloading. And I will remind you, per FTC guidelines, that Google provided this phone free of charge for my review. And we are not reviewing it at the moment so much as we are just getting things installed and tested. So we'll just kind of play around with it and see where we go. And right now we're watching paint dry, otherwise known as downloading 14 gigabytes of game data. But you know what, better now than next week when I'm trying to review it. Makes you wonder, it's like, is it worth it, right? Thank you for the super chat, Handquake. Much appreciated. Let's make sure I didn't miss anybody else here. And then when this is done, we'll grab some other stuff. So here's the thing. I've looked at the blue phones. I like them a lot. Here's the problem. Every one of these these super low price phones, they perform just fine. I have no problem with the performance on them. A lot of times they have nice screens. The cameras are never as good, ever. And the reason is that they don't have the software resources to get as much out of those sensors as Google or Apple or Samsung do. Because so much of these cameras now are software. Like they're not even, it's not even the sensors anymore. And thank you for watching. And Eli got a good deal on his trade-in. I wonder what they do with all these phones when you trade them in, right? I mean, do they reuse the chips or something? So I am a flat screen guy. So I am totally fine with a nice flat screen, for sure. No, they did not. And this is in regards to cases. So in the past, they used to make these really nice cases. And I think on the 6 Pro, I got like this silicon thing that was horrible. I don't think they gave me any other. I'm looking at the box they sent me. Yeah, there's no cases in here. It's a big, huge box though, with like nothing in it. Yeah, it's just a box. So they sent the little box that it came in. But there was just that, and like they did offer to like give me somebody to talk to if I had questions. So I think I will do that if we end up having any. All right, almost there. Well, maybe not so much almost there. We still have another 55% here to go. I would do something else, but it can't keep it in the background if I do anything else. But it's definitely getting warm. But every phone gets warm, right? So like I'm not as concerned about that. All right, we're almost there. When am I going to review the iPhone mini? Probably not going to review the iPhone mini. The problem that I have with the iPhones is that I have to buy them all. And the iPhones are so heavily reviewed on YouTube that I have no chance of being competitive on those reviews. So it costs me a lot to review an iPhone mini. Like if I have a family member, so like in the case of the iPhone SE, my sister needed a phone, so I bought it, and she basically reimbursed me for the cost of the phone. So if I can find somebody that needs the phone, maybe that's how we'll do it. If somebody out there needs the phone, I will buy it initially for you, and then then we can work out something. But I lose my shirt on iPhones because and it's also a matter of time too. Like even with these Google phones, like I'll do a little better on the 6A. But even these are hard because they send out so many and all the big, and everybody else gets it like a month ahead of time. So their reviews are out already and I'm first getting I literally picked this up about an hour ago. So, as a smaller channel, you're always disadvantaged on this stuff. But I do a little better on Amazon. So like that's, 6 of one, half dozen of the other sometimes. But all right, we're almost there. Oh, and somebody wanted to see the back of the phone. So that's what the back looks like. Yeah, I guess I could sell it on the store. The big thing that happens is that I lose money on that, and then I never get the viewership on it. So if I look even like to let me look back and see what my recent reviews look like on those. This is why I did a video on this a while ago. Like and I say this because yes, I got this phone early, so I'm part of this to some degree, at least on this phone. But like even in this case, the reviewers got it easily 2 weeks ahead of everyone, even the group that I'm in, right? So if you go out and search for Pixel 6a, you will see full reviews from the people that were picked to get one. And I will not have mine up until next week because I have to go do everything they did in the run-up to when they had it. So case in point, even my iPhone SE review from 2020, so my 2022 one, that one did okay. I got 25,000 views on that one. So that one did better than usual. Typically my iPhone review video, because there's printer, for me, is far more lucrative than an iPhone review, like a lot more. It's crazy how this works. Partly just because it's just a marketplace and there's only so many. If there's a lot of supply of a particular piece of content, it's really hard to break through. So can I return things? You could, but it's not too honest to do that. And if you become like a habitual returner, obviously that's going to create an issue also. But honestly, I'm not too worried about what I lose on the sale. The bigger issue is the investment in time. So if I'm spending time reviewing something that a million other people have reviewed, the return on that investment of time, for me, so for example, this phone, it's going to be, the hour or two that we're doing right now. It's going to be, the weekend playing around with it. And granted, it's not. The weekend stuff that I'll do with it will be in the course of other things. So, testing the camera, that kind of stuff is not that big of a deal. But I'll spend a good chunk of, Saturday or Sunday, probably Sunday or Monday, shooting the review of this. So it's just a matter of I'm doing this, but I can't do other things that would make, would do more for the channel, I guess. It's hard to describe. But this will do fine. I'm pretty sure I'll do okay on this one. But the iPhone Pros, forget it. I review the iPhone Pro just because I buy it for myself, but those things are just so heavily reviewed. And the smartphone category on YouTube is right up there with gaming as far as saturation is concerned. And so that's why when you see the things that I review on the channel, they're typically in product categories that are not heavily covered because I know where I can do well. So for example, I do really well with the TV stuff, like the TV boxes. I do really well with the over-the-air stuff. We have another one coming up this weekend on ATSC3. So that's going to be exciting. So there you go. So I don't do a lot of smartphones because of that. However, there are phones that do really. So here's an example of a phone that does really well. Those Unihertz phones that are super niche, I do great on those phones because it's so different. And not everyone reviews those phones because who wants a phone with a physical keyboard anymore? But you know what? There's a whole bunch of people that do, and they watch that video, right? So that's what I kind of look for is the oddball stuff or the super inexpensive stuff that people aren't thinking about, right? The blue phones is one area that I need to get back into. So Sheetza is very disappointed in the 6A. Would love to know how Google justifies the price difference from the 6. Yeah, it looks like right now it's about a $200 price difference. And so I see where they cut it out. No wireless charging. The display looks great, but it's not as nice as the 6 display is. The camera resolution isn't as good. But again, if you're an enthusiast, that's worth $200, right? But I don't know. I think for a lot of folks, it's they want the phone that they can afford. And they look at this, and it's wow, this thing, the camera system looks great for a phone of this price. And Ian says, yes. In fact, that's exactly what you're going to get. I hoisted the antenna up, and spoiler, it did work. So we'll actually have something to look at. And see, yep, exactly, George. So the Mocha stuff in particular, that's another area that people don't cover, right? And you're welcome. Have I considered re-reviewing old gear? So typically I don't, partly because I get rid of it. because of, again, I have to try to recoup costs because I do buy a lot of the things that I review. So a lot of times I just get, it's gone and out of here. Although I found that they don't get much better over time, especially those Fire tablets. So what you see in my video is usually where it starts. Ian got the new, so that's one that I have here also, the 4K one, and works way better than any other tuner he's tried. He's real close to the towers, but don't have line of sight. Yeah, the sensitivity of those HD home run tuners is spectacular. And what's interesting is that the 4K one is picking up stuff that the older one couldn't. It's good. So Motorola, I used to get stuff from Motorola all the time, and I have not lately. And I've done okay with some of their phones too. They're owned by Lenovo, and they used to do these big events in New York City. As a matter of fact, talk about Marcus Brownlee. I actually sat next to him at one of their unveiling events in New York. It was fun chatting with him because at that point he was huge already, like much huger than I. And we were swapping, just some info on our subscriber base. And one thing that I've always talked about is my subscriber to non-subscriber view count on most videos is usually 20% subscriber, 80% non-subscriber. His was the exact opposite. So Matthew felt the 5A was a better value, I'm assuming versus the regular Pixel 5. I have all of them. I have the 4, I had the 3A, I have the 4, I still have my 4A, I have the 5. And versus the 5, I'll give you that, because the 5 was kind of it was almost like a stopgap phone. The 5 actually did not perform as well as the 4. Tangi, Amazon customer, thank you for the follow on Amazon. We're almost there, folks. This game takes forever to load up, my goodness. So that's the download, 14 gigabytes. Oh, it's funny, Tamian. So when I was talking to him, he hadn't yet graduated college, or maybe he just graduated. And it was funny because we were talking about our parents and how, like, my father really didn't understand what the heck I do. He's starting to get a better sense of it now. He said the same thing of his parents. They could not comprehend how he's making a living doing this. But to his credit, he finished college. He felt it was important to finish up. All right, now it's preparing to load data. What was it doing the last half hour? And I agree 100% with this. I think the 4A was probably one of their best phones ever. But I have a feeling that this one's going to be up there. And I do believe the 4A was $399 versus the $449 on this one. And Ron says the HD home run works better than the tuner. Yeah, I've heard this from a lot of people. And I talked to Nick Kelsey, who's the engineer and the owner of the company. And he said to me that he spends, they really source the components that result in much lower noise. They spend a lot of time on noise reduction. And so as a result, you get a much more sensitive tuner. Frank Cromer just got here, but I bought the 4A years ago. Yeah, it's a great phone. I love the 4A. I've recommended that phone to a lot of people. So we'll see if this one's up there. 60 hertz so far to me feels fine. Again, I'm looking at it through a different lens than most reviewers do. I'm looking at it through the lens of, like, my dad. Like, is this going to be fine for someone looking for a phone that doesn't cost an arm and a leg? And Frank says it was $399 back then. And I agree, Tyler. I think the headphone jack is still a very important thing. And there's plenty of room for it on this thing. Remember what Apple called it? They said it was courage. And I'll give you a good example of, and this is more of a techie video production nerd thing, but I have a wired microphone that I walk around with. And it's another dongle that has to be brought along with me to get it to work, right? So I actually switched to a GoPro for my on-the-road stuff because it has, when you buy the media mod thing, you don't need another dongle. So, like, on the iPhone, and then this phone too, you're going to need a USB-C to headphone adapter thingy, and then you need a TRS to TRRS to TRS adapter. So you got like 3 dongles running off of each other, and every time you got to add a dongle to the mix, you run the risk of forgetting a crucial component of your workflow. And so it makes it hard to plug external microphones in. But I guess you could get like the DJI mic system that we looked at recently. Like there's things that are out there that are perhaps a little easier to work with, but still. And yes, no SD card slot, although I don't think the 4A had that either, right? And Christian wants to know about the Steam Deck. Steam Deck's been good. I like it. And what's funny is I've actually loaded up some games that I've bought years ago. Never got around to playing. So the only thing that I would like to figure out is a faster option to boot Windows up. And the reason why I want to boot Windows on my Steam Deck is so I can install games from my Game Pass account on it. So I'm looking for like I think Otherworld Computing sells one. I'm looking for like an SSD on a USB Type-C and stick form that I can just stick in the bottom of the thing and just boot up from that. Frank Homer says, do I remember if the 4A started out higher, like 450? I'm pretty sure it was always $399. This is the first year they went above the $399 mark. Sheetsu says, yes, I do sell the stuff that I buy for my channel unless I end up keeping it to use. So like for example, the Steam Deck I bought, but I'm keeping it for a while. But yeah, I have a store that I sell things on, Lon.TV/store. Right now I don't have much up there because I've cleaned out most of the stuff that I've bought recently. But I will be getting, if you go on my store alert email, Lon.TV/store alert, I will send out notifications on that. And this is exactly what I'm looking for. And right now there is no easy way to do that short of the external drive thing that I showed in the video. So if you download Rufus and install Windows 10 in Windows to go mode, which, believe it or not, still works, even though Microsoft says it doesn't, that will boot up without doing anything to the Steam Deck. You just have to force it to boot off of the SSD. And that's worked great. I just need something that doesn't have a wire attached to it that I might accidentally kick out. The fastest USB SSD I have tested, most of them are pretty up there now as far as what USB-C is capable of. So I would say the SanDisk Extreme disk, and not the Pro, because the Pro requires 2x2 to get the full speed. But Samsung's got this Thunderbolt NVMe monster that is like super fast. So I've got like I got one that I essentially assembled from you can get these USB-C Thunderbolt enclosures. Those work really well. All right, looks like we're finally able to begin. Hopefully we still have some battery left on it. The phone is definitely warm. It's not like, it's pretty warm. Yeah, I can feel my desk is, I wish I had my FLIR camera charged up. The desk is warm from where it's been sitting. Let's see how the speakers sound on it here.
But when you wanted to leave
Sound isn't bad.
to the next world, your path was blocked by some unknown god?
So is this kind of like would you all say that this is like
Your journey ends here.
the Switch Zelda game? Can I skip this?
Who are you? The sustainer of heavenly principles. The
Ooh.
irrigation of mankind ends now.
So the image quality on the display is quite nice. I'm assuming this video sequence is running at 60 FPS. It looks very smooth. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you think about like the onboarding of this game, you're spending like an hour getting, oh, I'm picking one at random here. I'm gonna pick this guy. Oh, that's my name. There we go. I don't think you can skip this at all, right? Yeah, the screen definitely feels kind of warm. But you know, OLEDs do warm up a bit. Even my OLED TV upstairs gets a bit warm on the front. Michelle Watson, thank you for the follow on Amazon.
Dad, God took away my sister. Some kind of seal was cast upon me, and I lost my power. So while we used
All right, so now we're loading the game now. It's only been what I think you could update the phone faster than you can get this game to work, right? And the heat from the phones, yeah, it's surprising how much heat they generate, isn't it?
How many years ago?
Even my iPhone will get hot when you do certain stuff.
But I intend to find out. When I woke, I was all alone until I met you 2 months ago.
Yeah, Paimon really owes you for that. Otherwise, Paimon likely would have drowned. So Paimon will do her best to be a great guide. We should head off.
Yeah, let's get
Keep
going. Finally. It's only been an hour. All right, so here we go. Seems like it's running pretty decently. Now, I guess there must be settings somewhere you can adjust on this, right? Is that in here somewhere? Oops. So let's see what it's set to. I'm guessing it goes with whatever its default is, right? This is like my inventory thing, so that's not the settings screen. Let's see. This is artifacts, weapons. So how do they make money with this game? Is it like you have to pay for leveling up your character or something? Is that the deal? Yeah, because it looks like there's not a lot of character detail. Maybe there is. It almost looks like it's upscaling from a lower resolution. So I'm just trying to see if there's a option here for... It looks pretty good. Certainly playable. My camera, I gotta set my camera's autofocus here. Let me do that real quick. Keeps losing focus because it's getting confused on, I don't have the best cameras. Well, they're pretty good in that they do 4K pretty decently, but. All right. And just a reminder, Google sent this to the channel free of charge for review. A little slowdown there, huh? Yeah, it's a little laggy, rendering in the background. Oh, it's loot boxes, huh? So pay for extra characters using loot boxes. It does not have Dolby Atmos audio. And Mark Dell says you pay for currency, unlocking characters, level up weapons, everything. So that's where they get you. So is it possible to like play the game for free, or you really can't progress unless you pay for more? Maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I just like paying like the $60 for the game and being done with it. And what's really interesting in the mobile world, so like nobody bats an eyelash at spending $60 on a game on the Switch, but like a mobile game on a phone somehow is not something people would pay that much money for. And I'm not sure how that came about. Just different markets, I guess, right? So Super Dodge Boy wants to know, what's my daily driver? So my daily driver is the iPhone Pro 13. I'm in that ecosystem. It's hard to get out of it because I've got all this Mac software that works with it. A lot of my productivity stuff is tied to the Mac also. Oh, he climbs trees. Look at that. Oops. Link can't climb trees. How far can he go up on the tree here? Let's see. So Tyler says that Genshin Impact is a gacha game. Think 25-cent machine that holds better and better characters over time due to power creep. And I was listening to an interview with the guy that created NBA Jam, and I guess a lot of the psychology that went into arcade games, the quarter munchers, is now like a lot of those people who had that arcade experience went into mobile games. No big surprise there, right? And Brian says it just takes you longer to progress. So you can get through the game. It's just going to take you longer unless you pay for it. Yeah, so the phone is definitely warm. I would not say it's hot. But you know what I want to try now that it's warmed up? And I have that game loaded now so I can demo that when we do the review. I'm going to load the camera up now because I want to see, as we're recording video here, whether or not it will overheat. Because before, on the other phone, look at a 4K, we're going to go to 4K 60. The other phone would stop recording after a while. So we'll look at my coffee cup here. I'm just going to let it record for a minute or two and see how long it takes. So the other phone was about 5 minutes, and it was in the winter that it died. Like, it was cold outside, and it was like done overheated. It's got a nice focus on it though. So it's got like a nice natural bokeh in the video. And if you have questions on the Amazon stream, definitely let me know. Happy to answer questions that I've been doing on the YouTube side here. And I did do a speaker test. It sounds pretty good. I would say it's good. It's not as good as my iPhone, but it's better than I expected, if that makes sense. And I'm recording at 4K 60 right now. I'm just curious to see how it does. I'm going to shake the camera a little bit here too. I'm going to do my lot of video recording over the weekend to see how it really does here. So what I'm doing right now is just seeing. So before, you would get about 5 minutes of like 4K 60 recording, and then it would die on you. It would actually stop recording due to temperature. I'm going to move it around here to keep its processor going. So these phones typically do a lot with use a lot of the processor in the course of doing the video, just for image processing. There's a lot going on with it. So it's not just dumping data from the sensor, it's processing things first. Yes, I did see that the other. I think I put that link in my link blog. But yeah, like, don't use it outside. And it's funny, my attic is like super hot. I was up there I had to go up there to get my antenna for this video I was doing, and I was like, man, it's hot up here. Frank Cromer says, am I talking about the 4A overheating? I think it was the 5A? Yeah, it was the 5A that was overheating, I think. And it was like, it was not recording for very long before it would hit that limit. And then when it was up to that temperature, so like it took a while for it to get there, but then it would overheat quicker on the subsequent recordings until it cooled down again. Now this has an ultra. I'll look at the other camera in a second. So this has an ultra wide and a wide lens. But if I go to 2 here, it's actually a digital zoom. It's not an actual optical zoom. Minimum focus distance. So I am. Oh, okay. So it looks focused here. Probably. So here it's out of focus. Maybe, I don't know, 4 inches from the thing here. Let's take a look. Let's see how many inches I'm away from it here. So it is, okay, it's sharp right here. That's about 3 inches. And the iPhone has this like automatic macro mode that it does now, which is pretty neat. And I'm getting a lot of questions about this 60 hertz thing. I mean, for me, it's fine. Again, I have a different lens. this is like a pun, but I have a different lens that I, again, look at things through, which is, does this meet the requirement that consumers at this price point are looking for? Yeah, it's got a nice, like, so it's got like a nice natural bokeh. This will come out more in the review when I do it. But it's got a very nice natural bokeh here as I'm moving it around. And what I'm doing right now is just trying to record a super long file to see if it's going to overheat. Usually the other one was about 5 minutes of video recording, and then it was like, I'm done. But you see that natural bokeh there? So like you can see, if I get positioned properly here. Yeah, it's good. So I'm going to leave it focused on the G here. See how the cup is out of focus? That's video, 4K 60. So it's very, very nice. And the iPhone has a nice natural bokeh too, although it's getting some, so then I can have it. And this is not like portrait mode digital trickery. This is optical. So you're not getting all these funky pixels and stuff doing that. All right, so we're about to hit the 5-minute mark. It's got a white balance adjustment here, so I can make it warmer or colder. And I can put it back to auto. And I can adjust the exposure here too, or revert. And then this is your, it's got a stabilizer here, which is locked on right now. All right, so we are past 5 minutes, and it is still going. And yeah, 3 sugars, that's my vice, okay? I don't even drink soda anymore. And you'll notice here too, by the way, let's look at the label here. Skim milk. Oh, here it is. I'll move back. I was about to say, I thought that was the overheating warning. I get skim milk, not cream. So there you go. I used to get my Dunkin' Donuts coffees like loaded up with cream and sugar. Man, that was like probably more than a soda. And Forrest is wondering how the fingerprint reader is. It's been fine for me. We've done a few fingerprints on it. I'll demo that in a minute. Got some new followers here on Amazon I want to thank. Patrick, Nitro Noodle, and Melissa. And by the way, here's the back of it. Doesn't it look nice? This is the chalk version. So it looks like the issue they had with it getting too hot recording 4K has improved. Now granted, it's not outside in the 90-degree weather right now, but it does seem like it's keeping itself operating here. So we are 6 minutes and 35 seconds into this clip now. And this is 4K 60 that I'm recording at. Now I'm seeing a little bit of jutteriness, but I don't know if that is getting translated into the recording. I don't think so, because I see that a lot of times that's a result of the stabilizer, and then it smooths out in software. My iPhone does the same thing. But you can see that bokeh shifting, and this is not a digital effect. It's actual just the camera focusing. So it goes blurry there, and then I can refocus there. Yeah, so we're 7 minutes in. So yeah, it looks like it's doing pretty good. Jojo, the ATSC 3 will be tomorrow. Let's look for that tomorrow night, 6:45. Coming to a YouTube channel near you. But yeah, it looks like it's hanging in there. So that's good, because the other phone would have overheated by now. It's definitely feeling warm from that, but it's going okay. All right, so let's go to camera mode here. So this has 2 cameras on the back. So you've got your wide and your telephoto, and then you got your flash over here. Actually, no telephoto. It's got a wide and an ultra wide. Now it has a 2. So here's the tricky thing with these. You'll see a 2 here, but that 2 is digital. So even though it's zooming in, that's not an optical lens. But so the 1x is a lens, optical, and then the 0.6 is the ultra wide. So that's your ultra wide. and that's your wide. But when you hit the 2, you're not changing lenses, you're digitally zooming. So you're going to get a little less resolution on the 2x. And it's got a leveler on here. That thing in the middle there is a leveler. And this is the regular mode. There's a portrait mode. Let's take a portrait of my coffee cup. See how that does here. Now, portrait mode only works in the 1x because it needs the other lens to do it. All right, so we'll focus in on my coffee cup. Actually, I'll put the coffee cup in front of, here, hang on a second. Those of you watching, you're like, what is he doing? I'll try to get a nice bokeh effect here with my computer in the background, then I'll show you what it looks like. And the LED lights are messing it up a little bit. So here is the resulting image. And it does take a little bit of time for it to process here. So it says processing, and it doesn't look like it's done yet. And this could be a little glitch with the current firmware. So it looks like it just finished. Okay, so now, welcome to Google Lens. Okay, that's right. Actually, I bet you I could probably scan that, that QR code and earn my rewards. Let's go and see if I can adjust the bokeh effect on this. Yeah, they got some other things too now, like you can erase things in the background. So I can adjust the depth of field here. So if I tap here, I can make it blurrier, I think. And I've got a whole bunch of stuff I got to read up on over the weekend because they have a whole bunch of these neat little things that you can do. And there's apparently, maybe it's in the other camera mode. Let me see if it does it in this mode. Because apparently you can take a picture and then erase something from the photo. Maybe I'll put this little thing up here and see what happens. Okay, so let's do, I think it probably works better with people. But I have no friends, so I can't do much more with that. I will say what's nice is that when you have a camera bump that takes up the whole width of the phone, it doesn't wobble on the table. So for example, I said a spider crawling up my leg. Hang on a second, something is crawling on my leg. On my iPhone here, for example, what is that? You'll see that when the iPhone is on the desk, right? Because the camera is like this square nub on the thing. So, but on this phone, because it's flat, nothing happens, right? Somebody wanted to see the fingerprint reader, so here you go. So it didn't get it on the first try there. Let's try it again. There you go. Lets you right in. Andre Gortoy, thank you for the follow on Amazon. Yeah, we're just playing around with the new Pixel 6a. I've looked at a lot of these A phones over the years. The battery is at 53%. We haven't charged it yet. But yes, I have virtual friends. That's right. So it looks like, yeah, I think you can circle something on it. Let me take a look. I've got, they sent me a whole reviewer guide. I got to go through all of that. But I think there's a command to get rid of stuff on the image. Let me look at that, actually. I'm curious about that. Let's see if we can figure that out real quick. So I do have my cheat sheet on that feature. Can I zoom in with 2 fingers using the opening OK symbol? I'm not sure what that, you can zoom in like this. Yes, I did the overheating test. So it ran for about 8 minutes, and I don't think the other one ever went that far. So it's pretty good. Michael Porter, thank you for the follow. And Mark Smith, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. We're always here. We never go away. All right, so let me go and look at my cheat sheet real quick here. Shared with me. Let's see. they sent this to me yesterday or the day before. Let's see, Pixel 6a. And we'll go back in here. I have it so it goes to sleep after a minute or two. All right, so our product guide. Okay, so let me go through and look at their cheat sheet on. They call this the Nerd Book. Perfect name for it. How to use this guide, yada yada yada. But the problem is they made it into like this. It fits on the phone screen, but I was looking for that feature where you can remove stuff. Let's see. Photography, camera system, real tone, Magic Eraser. Okay. Magic Eraser, in Google Photos, Magic Eraser can detect distractions in the background of your photos and suggest what you might want to remove. Then you can choose. Okay, so open Google Photos, hit Edit, Tools, Magic Eraser. Let's try that. Okay, so let me go to the photo that I think would work better. Let's see, let's go. Oh, it's got all my old photos on here too. Let's go to this one. Okay, so I'm going to go to Edit, and then I want to look for Tools. I don't see Tools. Enhance, Dynamic, Warm, Cool, Crop, Adjust, Filters, Markup. Open Google Photos. Am I in Google Photos? Yeah, Photos. This is like a Google Photos feature. And then I'm in here, and then I go to Tools. So tap Edit. Am I crazy? I don't see anything that says Tools, unless I have to do this somewhere else. Yes, it says how to try Magic Eraser. Open Google Photos, select the photo, and tap Edit. So I have suggestions, crop, adjust, filters, markup. Unless maybe this has to go into Google Photos first, I don't know. And they don't give you the free storage on this anymore, do they? So maybe I have to send it up to the cloud first. And then maybe it'll do it. Let's see. So this might be a cloud-based thing that the phone responds to. Let me read this. So Magic Eraser makes it easy in Google Photos. Yeah, this is a YouTube problem. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, we lose the stream every 55 minutes, and then it comes back. And it looks like we're coming back any second now. There we go. Now, we're back. The 50-minute thing struck again. You have to rub what you want to remove. It works best with the thing that you want to remove is in front of the... Okay, so let's try that. So I just don't see the thing that says the tool for it. It says it's supposed to be like a tool or something that it recommends that I use that for. I don't know. Let's see. Edit. I have all these other... So this looks like it's native to the phone. But that's Google Photos, right? That's the cropping. Oh, maybe it's in here. Denoise, vignette, sharpen, blue tone, skin tone, warmth, saturation, black point, HDR. Got the filters, and then I got the markup. Let me go to one of my older photos and see if maybe there's something in there that might work better. Okay. All right, here's one of my daughter, both of my kids. That's daughter number one. Let's see. These are, do I have the actual pictures? Okay, so here's, yeah, let's do one of these. So I wonder if we can get rid of those chairs in the background, maybe? Let's see. So if I hit edit on, this is an old photo that's been here for a while. So if I hit edit, unable to edit, check your connection. Well, that doesn't work. I am connected. I'm on the Wi-Fi. Well, we're going to have to come back to that, won't we? Maybe I can get rid of that umbrella there. Let's try that. Unable to edit. Check your connection. I am connected. Yep, we're connected to the internet. It says we're connected. So maybe there's a little glitch or something going on. All right, you know what I'm going to exit out of photos here and just see if that might. All right, so I just killed it completely. So let's go back and see. I'm missing out. Update my Photos app. Oh, it wasn't updated. But it is updated. You're missing out. Update. I go here, update. Okay, let's do the update. So maybe it needs to be updated. Let's try that real quick. So Android has a product demo mode I should use. Oh, I should try that out. Yeah, I think it was my version of the Photos app. And I got a jet in a few minutes here because it's almost time for my kids to come home. Gary Barsetti is here. Hello, welcome to the Amazon chat. I do these all the time, so definitely give a follow. All right, so let me go back to July. That's the highlight reel. All right, so let's go back to this one. All right, so let's see what it can do with this one. So let's go back to edit. Oh, tools. Aha, magic eraser. There we go. Okay, so let's see. It's going to find suggestions. So this is not a phone feature so much as it is a cloud feature. So I think I want to get rid of the water bottle. We'll see how well it can do this. What do you think? I don't think it's going to do very well. Whoa, that's not bad. Actually did a halfway decent job of that. All right, so let me zoom in on it here. So you can see there's a little bit of weirdness with whatever's on that plate there. And you can see there's a little bit of a remnant there, but actually it did pretty good. Now, I'd hate to do this to my daughter, but let's see if it can get rid of the person in the image here. So let's scribble her out. I love her dearly, so this is not any statement about my children. Let's see if we can rebuild the chair. What do you think? No. All right, so that's not bad actually, though. I mean, it didn't really know what was behind the bottle, right? So it just kind of gets rid of it. But I bet you if I were to do, what's camouflage? Circle or brush to camouflage. Maybe I'll do a circle around it next time and see what, oh, look at that. All right, so let's try this. Let's just circle the water bottle and see what it does. Oops, I screwed up. So it's actually recognizing the object there. Yeah, so some things are going to be better than others. Maybe, why don't we get rid of this cap on the table. Boom. That it did very well. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. All right, so let's see. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Let's try some of these other photos here and see what we get. Yes, this is not necessarily a feature of the phone as it is a feature of Google Photos. But a lot of times they limit you to just the features of, here's my horse buddy. Let's see. My wife is calling me. All right, we'll talk to her in a minute. I wonder what it would do with this one. Let's see. So let's go to Edit. Let's go to Tools. Now see here, because this is a portrait photo, I don't think I get a magic eraser. There we go. I wonder if we could take her out of the picture completely. Let's see what happens. I'm pushing the limit here. I don't think this is like what it's designed for. I think it's more, no. I mean, considering what it had to work with there, that's pretty cool. I have not checked out the speakers. I have checked out the speakers. Yeah, they sound fine. Yeah, they're not as good as my iPhone, but they're better than most of these inexpensive phones. Let's see here. Let's go back. Let's see if I can find one that. These are all videos. This one might be kind of fun. So I found that if you're buffering, it's because of the resolution you've got YouTube set at. Because we're streaming at 4K, and it might bring you down to 1440p, but if your computer has a hard time with that resolution, it might give you some issues. All right, let's try this. Let's try to magic erase all this stuff on the table here. Let's see how it does with that. Oh, so here's some highlighted suggestions. Let's do that. Let's get rid of her and him. Well, that's pretty good. It does mess up her hair a little bit. Oops. And it makes it hard to, shoot. You can't navigate all that easily. Shoot, see what I mean? Like it goes into this brush mode. So let me go back and zoom. I just want to zoom in on this guy here. Beat the devil out of it, he says. Okay, so let's go to Magic Eraser and erase all. So it kind of extends out her hair, right? Because it's really got to guess as to what's behind her. But oops, yeah, that's annoying. Well, I guess if you do two fingers, you can easily do that. All right, so let's go back to Magic Eraser. We'll go start from the top here, and we'll just zoom in. So this one I think it's going to do better with. Yeah, so it leaves kind of like a shadow behind her, but you know, you wouldn't really notice that in a social media thing, would you? All right, let me see how it does with like this section of the table. I think I might erase the table completely, but let's see what it ends up doing. I guess I could draw a line around it, but this was at a craft fair last year. All right, so let's do that. Just got to think about that. Yeah, you know. Super chat from Hunter Brooks. Thank you very much. Hey, on any decent Mac at the moment, are you asking for any decent deals on Mac laptops? I would say that the best deals, I would look on Amazon for the renewed M1s, but also the Apple refurbs are a pretty good deal too. I mean, and they give you the same warranty. And CR Pulse says the new setup is almost amazing. Yeah, right. It's pretty wild, like to be able to stream at this resolution. Every imperfection is now visible. So it's really good. All right. And Matt K is late. That's okay, Matt K. We'll be back with some more streams before you know it. But I'm going to start getting ready to wrap things up because I've got to check in with the family. But the fingerprint reader feels better than it did when I was initially playing with the other one. So I will make sure that in the review we look at the speakers. And you know also what I'm going to do here? I'm just going to load up. Just want to go to a website here. This will kind of, I think, be a good indicator. Yeah, I mean, you know, when you're scrolling through stuff, I mean, that's where I think the faster refresh rate would feel better. I don't know if I can demo this. Let me see if I can demo this on the other one. So I actually have both here, so we could really look at like a head-to-head kind of thing. But like if I go to the NASA homepage on the other phone and just kind of do a head-to-head here. Ah, okay. Yeah, I will say that the 6 Pro screen looks better. It's brighter. It looks a little. I mean, it's not light years better, but maybe it's just because it's bigger. But yeah, so it's definitely smooth. I mean, when you have the two next to each other, and you can't see it on your screen because I'm only streaming to you with 30 frames per second, but it is like so much smoother on. So if you're used to this, you're going to notice it here, no question. Especially on Android, which is where you would notice it more. Apple must do something to make their phones feel faster because they didn't implement that faster frame rate up until recently. But it's smoother, and as a result, it feels like the phone is faster and better performing, right? But I don't know if I would be noticing that if I wasn't looking for it. You know what I mean? Like if you're an enthusiast who appreciates that, it definitely is different. Like this feels, by comparison, you know, more, I don't want to say laggy, but like there's more of an interruption to the speed there. I have not messed around with RetroNAS yet, although I'm trying to figure out how it differs in like regular SMB file sharing, so I need to explore that a bit more. It's funny, I saw something this morning on it, and I was like, oh yeah, I got to get to that. And work always takes priority, absolutely. Well, I'm working right now. I'm blessed that this is my living, but you're right. So we've been going for about 2 hours now. And CF has a good point here about if you have a screen protector that it may not work as well, those fingerprint readers. But yeah, it definitely feels smoother on the other phone. Richard Moore, I'll try this real quick. Can I try the camouflage if it makes a distinct extraction blend in with the background? All right, let's try that real quick. Let me go back to photos here. And let's use all right, so I'm going to edit here. Oops, I'll use this one again. Tools, magic eraser, camouflage. Didn't do anything to that one. So maybe like that guy in the background on the other one. Let's see if I can find that photo again. Yeah, here we go. So let's go edit, tools, magic eraser, because it didn't do a good job with that guy before, did it? Thanks for stopping in, David Parker. See you later, Matt K. All right, so it's got a couple of things that it's recognized here. Let me do camouflage and see what that does. So let's just do that with this guy here. Oh, you know what that does? It just matches the color of his shirt to the background. So let's see what happens if I color her in. If it just maybe it makes her green. It just kind of matches the color temperature, it looks like, or the color. Let's see what it does with this guy here. It did a nice job with him. Oops. That did a nice job with him. If we go back and reset it. So look what it did there. So let me zoom in a little bit closer on him. So if I hit erase all, like it literally like created stuff behind him. That one's pretty convincing. 'Cause if you zoom out, you wouldn't even notice that it, oops, that it did anything. See, the navigation is really frustrating with this magic eraser because you're constantly doing things by accident. That's pretty good. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Is this in relation to the resolution CR poll or just with live streaming? Oh, so RetroNAS serves to, oh, neat. I'll play around. I got to play around with it a bit more because I can run it on my Synology. Oops. So good stuff. All right, I got to get moving here, folks. But this was a first look at the Pixel 5a. If there's something specific you want me to look at, email me at Lon@Lon.TV, and I'll try to get it into the review or at least let you know what it does. But it feels pretty nice. It's definitely, it doesn't feel flimsy by any stretch, but it doesn't feel as solid of a block as the Pro does. Like this thing has a very equal, you know what I think is getting me on this? It's the 6A, Frank, sorry. And I do use Camel occasionally. I have it email me, I don't use the extension. The weight doesn't feel, like it feels like it's heavier towards the top than it is towards the back here. So the weight feels like it's heavier on this side than this side. And I wonder if the plastic has something to do with that. Because on here, the weight feels much more balanced. It feels heavier because it is heavier. It's also bigger. And it's brighter. But yeah. So, and yes, follow me on Amazon, if you don't mind. I'm building up my following. So if you're watching me on Amazon right now, hit the follow button because we'll be back. I do this stuff all the time. We get something in, and we open it up. 6A. Sorry, everybody. We open up the stuff, and we play with it. And then I begin building my facts and figures for the full review. And I didn't show you the rest of it here. You'll notice there is no headphone jack on this. There's the bottom. Very attractive unit. So, good stuff. And the camera bump is a little smaller. It is, yes. Not as bumpy. So I would say it's probably like almost a couple maybe half a millimeter thinner. Definitely thinner than the other one. It's also a smaller phone too, if you like compare the two. This one can fit kind of inside of the other one. This is a 6 Pro, so I think the 6 Pro is bigger than the 6 is. That's the fingerprint. Yeah, you got to hold it down for a second there to get back into it. So got to hold it there for a second or two, and then it lets you in. Thank you for the super chat, Tech Time with Eric. No embargo. Nope, no embargo. All the reviewers got it ahead of us, so we're all behind the 8 ball on it. So as soon as I get enough, I don't like to rush these things. I like to have a good overview of it. And I've never tried the Xperia phones. I've never been able to get one in. Just make a note of that. Also, no charger in the box. And but Frank loves his 4A. Yeah, the 4A is good. The 5A was okay, but I think the 6A is going to be better than the 5A. All right. I got to run. But thank you all for tuning in, and I will be back before you know it. And we'll have a full review coming up soon. And remember, my full review is going to be in the context of the target market. Because I think what happens with these phone reviews is that people look, and I'm not criticizing how people review. Everyone's got their own thing. But I think people often look to their audiences as to what the phone should be. I look to what the phone's target audience is going to be. So that's how I approach these things. And that's the lens I'm going to put on this when I look at this. Like, is this a phone my dad would use, right? As opposed to me. So yeah, so the only thing I can feel with it is the weight doesn't feel, like it feels a bit top heavy. Not that I'm going to drop it, but I feel more weight here than I do here. And I'm typically feeling a more balanced weight on the more expensive phone. Yeah, no headphone jack. So there you go. And Frank says that's price point. Yeah, I think that's exactly it. This phone is all about price. Now, what gets more complicated is that if you're on Amazon right now, you can get the Pixel 6, which has more features, a better camera than this, for about the same price, refurbished, the renewed one. So if you don't mind getting a renewed phone, you can pay this price and get the 6, which is a better performing device in some areas. The processor is the same. So that's something to think about. All right, I will catch you all on the next one, and set your notifications. I may pop up over the weekend because I just have so much stuff going on. So just keep following. So happy mama, Jess, Gary, and LB, thank you for the follow on Amazon. If you are not following me on Amazon, follow me, because oftentimes I will do a live stream as I record a video, and I don't do those on YouTube because I figure the YouTube people are going to see the video anyhow. So I do that. And then when I get stuff in like this, we take it out of the box and I take requests. Try this, try that, try this. And that's what we do. So there you go. So this is the Pixel 6a, not the 5a, the 6a, the brand new one. You can order it now. You can't get it till like next week. It's pretty. And I like it. But we'll see how much I like it when I do the review, okay? So catch me next time, and I will catch you all very soon. And set those notifications. That's a good question. Preference between the 4A and the 6A. I'm going to think about that. All right. Catch you all on the next one, and thank you. Thank you for watching. And yeah, we'll have a more, obviously the review that I do is going to be much more concise than the last 2 hours have been. So good. All right, everybody. Well, thank you all for tuning in, and I will be back again before you know it on the Pixel 6a. And you stay amazing too, Mark Dell. And thank you for your moderation skills. It's always appreciated. Okay, everybody, catch you on the next one, and have a good evening. Bye-bye.